welcome to MediaStuds Film. I'm Kieran.
I'm Pip.
Alright, now you may notice that our voices sound marginally clearer, except for, Pip chomping on bacon rationed crisps and what's-its.
Yeah.
So, and that is down to Fisherman's Friends.
Fisherman's Friends.
Purely all down to us.
Yeah.
Well,
Connor's microphone.
And Connor's microphone. But anyway, before we get going, last week we sent out a video holding a competition to find out, which Spider-Man films you preferred. Is it the original trilogy or the new Amazing Spider-Man, which came out in March? Now, we had a massive response, and Pip's there sitting down holding a massive post bag full of letters.
Yeah.
And that was his
Fan
phone.
mail. Yeah.
Right.
That's
all the
fan mail.
After we waded through all of the fan mail, then we found there was one response, and that was from Matthew, who actually suggested it.
Yeah. He's the only one.
He's the only one, guys. Trying to make it interactive here.
Jesus.
I know, Jesus, people. We are trying to, make it more interactive for you. But hey ho. That is the last time, probably till about 2 hours from now, that we hold another competition. Right, so on with the show. Okay, so Andrew sent in a review about the Loch Ness Monster incident. He reviewed that. We're going to post that on the Facebook page, and you can take a look. And it's a really good review, but it's quite long, so we're not going to read it out on the show. But that review, it's a found footage film, so we're going to base that around it. So Pip, start watching.
Okay.
Alright, you started watching. I've given Pip the Blair Witch Project to watch while I do the review. Okay, so the Blair Witch Project is what most people see as the first sort of found footage film. Certainly horror. I mean, before that, of course, there's Cannibal Holocaust and all these other stuff, but we won't go into that today. So the Blair Witch Project follows the story of three sort of students at college in America, and they travel to the sort of rural village of Blair, where there is a legend of a witch, the Blair Witch, and they go around to the beginning being annoying, asking the locals if they know the story. By the way, the film's shot in 30mm, and there's a black and white camera and a colour camera, and that's where you get the found footage. So they go into the woods to do some location shooting by a rock where people's kidneys were torn out, and I believe we have got they get lost in the woods, and I believe we have a short clip.
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom, and Josh's mom, and my mom. And I'm sorry to everyone. I was very naive. I am so sorry.
Okay, so as you can probably tell by that clip, things soon start to take a turn for the worse, or certainly more sinister. As I said, the three get lost in the woods, and soon they decide to camp, and they start hearing weird noises and eventually screaming. And I mean, the film isn't long, so it's hard not to give stuff away, and that's probably as much as I can say without ruining your entertainment of it, your enjoyment. So, here's the big question. Is it scary? And yeah, it is. I was scared, but I think it's a real sort of divide. Whether you can let your imagination go wild or not, that is the real test of this film. But I really enjoyed it, and it left an impression of me. And just a progress report from Pip. Pip! Yeah, take your headphones off.
Alright.
Where are you in the film? Got to anything scary yet?
I think they've just set up the campsite at the moment.
Describe what's happening to us.
Well, they've just interviewed the local people.
Yeah?
To find out what they know about Blair Witch.
See, I wasn't lying.
Well, I'll just read in the story now.
Sounds like a good film. Keep watching, Pip. Okay, on to our second found footage film, and it is Chronicle. Came out last year. It's a film about lots of things. Child abuse, being lonely, friendship, and also people with telekinetic superpowers. But it's all shot on a camera, on a camcorder. It's a found footage film, but the person filming this time does it for a very different reason than the person in Blair Witch. He's a deeply lonely person whose only seemingly friend is his cousin, who drives him to college and everything. But one night he goes to a party, and he goes down with this other guy, his cousin and this other guy, into this cave, and they find this strange light source, and soon some weird things start to happen. He can move things with his mind, and as the three characters' powers start to grow, then things start to become gradually more dangerous. David, who's our protagonist, his dad abuses him, his mother is very ill, and they're struggling to buy medicine for him. So he has the most anger, he's full of anger, and he uses his power, maybe not for the best, but you'll have to watch the film to find out more. I think it is incredible. It's incredibly sad, but also strangely uplifting at the end, if that makes any sense at all. So I'd definitely go and watch it. My only problem is that at this point the found footage is becoming not a cliche, but it's certainly convoluted in this film. I mean, would he really keep that camera with him the whole time, especially when you see what's happening? And the end just didn't make sense to me. It seemed like they just gave up. I mean, I love the ending, but they gave up with the found footage genre. So that's the thoughts on Chronicle. Okay, so finally in this episode, Cloverfield. Now, you may have heard a lot of things about Cloverfield, but it's a film where you want to go in without knowing anything. Much like as it sounds in Andrew's review, Cloverfield takes a long time to get going. It's about half an hour before anything remotely interesting happens, but that is usually the case in this found footage genre. Cloverfield, basically what happens is, and I'm paraphrasing terribly, is a monster that you never fully really see until the end crashes into New York, Manhattan, and everyone's in a panic, and it's how these three characters survive. They have to crawl through tube tunnels and everything. Now, the film has its problems. I didn't find it scary. I didn't find it exciting, and it got quite boring. That's not to say it's bad. Actually, I find it was quite exhilarating the way, the characters were so unsympathetic that I didn't care about the characters. I cared more about what was happening to the monsters, and the end it lost it for me. So, out of the Blair Witch, Chronicle and Cloverfield, definitely see Blair Witch because it's important. It's part of our popular culture, and I think Chronicle's still a good film if you like that sort of thing, and if you don't get sad too easily. Okay, so thanks for watching this episode. Once again, we implore you to go and post your reviews on the Facebook. Pip, what's happening at Blair Witch Final? Have you got to anything scary yet, or are we just going to be hugely disappointed?
Not really. Really disappointment, really. That just got lost. They're all swearing at each other.
Well, it sounds incredible. See you next week. Bye.